Hey, you fucks. Thanks for, checking out the videos, showing a little bit of support. How about you take it to the next level and show us some love over there on Patreon, huh? Huh?
Yo, 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 yo. What the fuck is up there, everybody out there on the YouTube zones? You go by Papa Tico, coming to you live from 1980s Camarocho. Today, this is another at-home recording. I wanted to get more B-roll of walking around Tokyo and using footage from me around Tokyo and everything, but I need to release this video tomorrow, and I got other things I need to be doing today. And it's already going to take like 2 hours to export this video once I get done spending the hour to record it. So, yeah, guys. I mean, this will be probably like a multiple series, like a multiple mini-series or whatever here on the Rants channel on ADVJapan. By the way, apologies ahead of time. I'm recovering from having a cold. Yeah, guys, this is one of those rare instances where I didn't have a backlog of rants for the month of January yet, so I'm recording this the day before I got to release this, and I still haven't gotten over my cold. Today I want to talk about, things that, places to go in Tokyo that I would recommend for newcomers coming to Japan for the first time, or, people that didn't get a lot of time to spend around Tokyo the first couple times they were here or whatever. So yeah, apologies if my voice sounds a little bit raspy like coffee talk or whatever. I'm trying to make it good for all you guys. But yeah. So, just, take that for what it is. This is a rant and ramble though, so I'm going to try to stay on point for most of these, but at the same time, guys, just, give me a little bit leg room here to go off and spiel and freestyle in the middle of talking about these bullet points that I want to talk about. Because, at the end of 2024, I had I was fortunate enough to meet a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys came to visit Japan in winter. And some of you guys were just like, I don't really have any plans. I've just been hanging out at the hotel. And I'm like, dude, there's so much stuff to do. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of like information oversaturation, right? Like they're like, oh, there's so much stuff to do. I didn't know what to do. So like I just kind of stayed at home. And I'm like, that fucking sucks. And apologies, guys. Let me just hydrate a little bit here. Sweet coffee. But yeah, I know that there's a whole big part of Japan for you guys to go and explore, and yada yada yada, etc., etc. But today I want to focus on Tokyo, because Tokyo is more than likely the only place that you guys will be able to explore if you only got a couple days to be here, especially if you're not used to the public transportation system and whatnot. And you're limited. You got a limited time budget. And full disclosure, guys, everybody's experience is different. So what I recommend might not be exactly what you guys want. If you guys, and a big shout out to Ninja Monkey, by the way. Ninja Monkey is a fellow YouTuber that I really like, and he is the guy to go to for any updates when it comes to touristy tips. Like, for example, they were getting rid of the Suica card for a little bit, and I didn't even know about that. And I think they brought it back. But, I don't really keep updated on that shit on purpose. So, Ninja Monkey's the guy who does, though. So if you need to know stuff like, oh, there's a new tax law or something, then yeah, like, oh, you can't buy stuff duty-free or something, then yeah, he's the guy to know. Anyway, 4-minute point in this. Let me just do a self-promo. Thank you, everybody who's come over here and signed up and become a member on my YouTube. If you guys become a member, you get a chance to spam the emojis. Hello, Premiere Chat, by the way. Thank you guys for spamming emojis. And you get access to the secret photo dump side of my Discord, where I just post pictures about my life that are boring, but fun, but boring, too boring to put on Instagram. So go check that out. And also, big shout out to everybody who signed up for Patreon. It's weird. This year, I had a lot of people, like I had maybe like 10, 12 people signing up for the lessons, the Japanese lessons, and now I'm down to like 3 or 4 right now. And I get it because I haven't really advertised the Patreon that much. But if you guys want to learn Japanese and you guys want to get a package in the mail every month from me, a Japanese package with just manga or whatever that I've gotten done reading, then please, by the love of God, sign up for Patreon. And I know it's not just me, my buddy Jim, my other friends that do Patreon as well, they had a big dip at the end of last year. So I want to build up that Patreon again. Like, I don't think it's a bad website, and I like it for it having clout. It delivers, and also I made like a couple years worth of content to be pre-released every month for the next couple years. So I really want to send people over there. And yeah, I mean, like, we offer all this other kind of shit there too, guys. Like, if you want to move to Japan, I offer consultations there. If you've got some extra fuck you cash and you want a tour guide with Papa Tikyo for a week or for a day or two, I got that there. All the stuff is there. Go check it out. The links are down below. Patreon.com/TikyoSam. Even if it's just $1 or whatever, guys. I like having people there in the Rolodex. It's fun. But anyway, yeah, and if you guys want to help out the channel even more, follow me on my social media. And make sure to join the Discord. We got a really great community of hot dads, hot girl dads there. Everybody's there, and they're just chilling. So, yeah, feel free to come over there and be part of the community. But anyway, yeah, is that all I got to say for the shout-outs? I think that's all I got to say for the shout-outs. Yeah, dude, I haven't made a rant in at least a month or two, you know? Fuck. And I'm having to do this last minute while I'm sick. Ugh. I'm just getting over this sickness. Man, I was sick for like how long? Fuck. It's been since December 29th. So almost over a whole week. I still have a cough and yeah, but that's nothing. But yeah, I got like a raspy throat. It doesn't hurt, but I got a raspy throat, and I got my nose. My nose is all stuffy. So, give it another week or two. Whenever you're sick, you let the food heal you, you know. Eat a lot of healthy food. Today I got a lot of fruits. Went out to the supermarket, bought me a bunch of fruits, and I am going to next, after I get done with this, I'm going to make myself a nice big bowl of stir-fried noodles of a shit ton of veggies and garlic and chili. Flush out this system, if you know what I mean. But yeah, anyway, guys, that's enough with the small talk. Let's get down to brass tacks here. How much for the ape? How much you got? He wants to know how much for the ape. Yeah, how much we got? Yeah. Oh man, yeah. I watched Fear and Loathing while I was sick, and that was just so awesome. It was good. Love that movie. Cash Baby, what it do? Anyway, yeah, guys, by the way, all of these places that I've mentioned, that I'm going to mention today in today's rant, I have a new section on the Discord called Places. What is it exactly called? Here, do I have Discord up? Oh, no, I don't have Discord up. Hold on. I want to say the exact name for this stuff. What is it called? It's called Places to Visit in Tokyo. Places to Visit Tokyo. It's part of the Tikyo Sam section on the Discord, and it's right above the Tokyo events. And so, yeah, I was prompted to make this video because, again, like, sometimes you viewers, man, I'll come and meet you guys randomly in Tokyo or whatever, and sometimes people are just like, I don't know what to go. I don't know what to do. There's so many options. I don't know what to hone in on. And so I made these sections on my Discord. So hopefully you guys, you have some things that you can click on and be like, okay, yeah, I'll go check it out. So, I have the events thing, but we'll talk about that another. Well, I guess, we can talk about it a little bit. So in the Discord, I have an events section, and I've broken it up into threads to make it easier. So there's festivals, sports events, music concerts, conventions, food and shopping, culture. And then like off-kai, like random places where you can go and drink. And like offkai means usually like it's an offline party, which means people from like different communities get, like, for example, like the one that I clicked or that I shared here, there's a Ukrainian chick who's like a supermodel here, and she was doing an offkai here that I just saw randomly on Twitter, but it was only for 30 minutes, and I wasn't gonna go, but I thought I'd share just to remind myself in the future. Oh yeah, like there's other online creators that sometimes do offline meetings. I should share that here if I want to go and check them out. So that's cool. But yeah, I also shared job fair events for you guys too if you're coming here looking for jobs. But the section that I update the most is the music concert section. I love going to see live events since last year, guys. I try to go at least once a month to go see a live event, and most of these places or most of the bands, they'll make a flyer and they'll post it on Instagram or Twitter, and so I screen capture that and then I'll post it here. So yeah, one of the best things you guys can do is go see live music, and that's one of the things I want to do whenever I go out, man. Whenever I go out of Tokyo, it's like, what are some things I want to do? I'm like, well, I want to go to a retro arcade, I want to go see some live music, I want to go eat some local food. Like those are like the top 3 things I want to do. And then also it's like go see like a sports event or whatever, right? But yeah, when it comes to Tokyo and places to go in Tokyo, you got to think of it as, well, there's places you go for like a goal, right? Like you want to get an Instagram picture, or you just want to go for the sake of saying that you went. And like Tokyo Tower, shit like that. It's kind of touristy. And then there's places to go to have a good time. You're trying to, you just want to go and you want to have some fun. You want to like go and like really take it all in, kind of thing, like a retro arcade or whatever. There's places to go to kill time, and that could be just a cafe. That could be like a certain restaurant chain, whatever. There's places to go meet people too, and I'll talk about that in a bit. There's places to get away from other foreigners, so you can have that special Tom Cruise-y feely. And then there's places to go outside of Tokyo for a day. And so let's get into it. So places to go for a good time. So places to go for a good time, guys. Places to go for a good time are... for me, it's a place that has a lot of stuff around it. Like one of my boys in the chat, Hashiria, he was like, Dad, what's a better place to go play at a retro arcade? Takanada Baba's Mikado or the Taito Station in Akiba? And, I said Taito Station in Akiba because not only is it bigger than Mikado, but also there's cooler shit to do in there's cooler shit to do around that area. In Akihabara there's all these really good lunch places, and there's other retro arcades, there's cool computer shopping. They have the giant Don Quixote. In Takanada Baba, it's all right, but it's mostly food stuff, like food and bars for like the college kids around there. And I don't know, that area kind of sucks. They used to have a used English bookstore, which was kind of cool. That would be like my gaijin to go to spot. But yeah, that's not really like for me. I try to think of like how many things can I fit into one area. And like for example, I like to go to Harajuku because Harajuku has motorcycle parking. It's got motorcycle parking specifically by Harry's Sandwich Shop and by the what's the name of it? The Shibuya-ku library. And there's usually a parking spot, at least one open. And I love it because like in Harajuku, there's so many things to do. You can go to Yoyogi Park and just walk around in nature, and they don't charge you for it. You can go to the library, and on the 3rd or 4th floor, they have a shit ton of English books that you can read if you don't want to pay for them. And also, like in Harajuku, they have Chili's, great Mexican restaurant there. They've got Harry's Sandwich Shop, the best sandwich shop in the whole world. They got that there. They've got a great Mexican food restaurant there, burrito place. You know, they have these places where you can go up to the top floor and look down and, like, you know, have like a little snack and people watch. They've got, yeah, like, you know, they got a lot of good, cool things in that area. For whatever you're looking for, right? You want to get some food, you want to do some shopping, you want to go out in nature, kind of thing. You want to ride spaghetti there you go, right? But for me, it's like places that are good to go that I like. It used to be Shibuya. I used to love going to Shibuya. I would stay in Asakusa, and I would take the Ginza line to Shibuya, and my routine would be to, like, take the train, get out of the train, go to the milk stand that was there. They had like 2 milk shops in Shibuya for a while where you could get, like, they had pastries with milk. And, you know, you just go there, drink some milk, go down, and then they had a 50 yen arcade. If you guys played Persona 5, you'll know where the arcade is. It's gone now, those bastards. Go to the 50 yen arcade, enjoy that, and then, like, you know, go do some otaku window shopping at the Mandarake on the basement 2nd floor of that one place. And then there were, like, a couple cool cafes. Like, you could go to the dinosaur. I don't even know if they show the dinosaur anymore. You could go to the Starbucks and people watch. If you wanted to get some good ass, like, blue collar, you know, down home cooking man food, you could go to Gyoza no Osho right underneath the train tracks. You could go watch a movie at one of the movie theaters. Like, you know, you're set there. So it's always good when you go to, like, kind of like a hub area kind of thing, right? Like, you know, Ueno, Ikebukuro, Shibuya. Like, I don't understand people who are like, they come to Tokyo and they're like, I can't stand crowds. I don't like crowds. And I'm like, it's like going to a fucking barbecue place and being like, I'm a vegetarian. I don't like eating meat. And I'm like, why the fuck are you here, dude? Like, I just don't get it, man. I don't get it. Like, you got to get out of your comfort zone. Like, one of the viewers that I have that lives here now in Japan, he's like, I hate fish. I can't eat it. And I'm like, well, you're in Japan, dude. Like go out of your way to try stuff, you know? Like, I didn't like uni at first. Uni's like sea urchin here. And I remember there was this one coworker that I had, and he was getting divorced. And he's like, he just had all this extra money. And he's like, I'm going to take you out each week, and we're going to go eat uni. We're going to go to eat seafood. There's tons of seafood restaurants I want to go to. And let's eat uni. And I'm like, okay, cool. And, yeah, it was fun, you know. It was really cool. We went out and I still don't really like uni that much, but I'll eat it, you know. Like, I think it's, like, part of the experience, right? But sometimes you try something so many times, you end up liking it. Like natto. When I first tried natto, I didn't like it. But then I realized I had to try a bunch of different varieties of natto until I found the version I like. And, you know, it's nice. It's nice when you figure that out, kind of thing, right? And, you know, so you got to be willing to put yourself out there. If you're coming to Japan and you don't like crowds, you got to explore. And that's one of the best things about traveling around Tokyo is that you can just get off of one train station and just start walking, and eventually you'll find another train station that you'll have to do a couple train transfers to get home, maybe, or get back to the hostel, but you'll be able to get home, you know. And like, you can't really do that in the countryside. You can't really do that in countryside, or like basically any place outside Tokyo. Any place outside Tokyo, you need a car. I don't know about outside Tokyo, but like Tokyo has those the green turquoise scooters or whatever, like the pay with your phone scooters now. I don't know how prominent those are outside Tokyo, but yeah, I mean, like, I remember being in Chiba and my last bus was at 9:22 p.m. And I'm like, fuck, and then I'd have to walk 30 minutes to get home. It fucking sucked. Take in mind, though, guys, like, I still stand by what I always say, which is, if you're moving to Japan, you don't move to Tokyo at first. Move to Tokyo eventually, but don't move here at first, because if you move here at first, it's going to be too easy to not learn Japanese. And if you want to be in Japan for a long time, you got to go to a place where you need to use Japanese. And in Tokyo, you can get they're so used to the tourists here, you can get by with English forever, you know? Like, I'm not saying it's perfect, but they're so used to dealing with tourists and, like, using your Google translate and hanging out with foreign friends. And it's like, nah, dude, you need that kind of like self-inflicted self-isolation, you know, in order to really get your Japanese up. I really strongly, you know, I strongly agree or think about that, you know, like I strongly enforce that way of thinking that you need to get out, because when you're forced to sink or swim, man, like you're gonna swim. But if you're in Tokyo, they just give you floaties and it's a shallow pool, so there's not much of a challenge. There's not much impetus to go and do that shit. But yeah, but if you're coming to visit, fuck it, right? Like why not? Like I got a buddy of mine, he's gonna come and visit in March or April, and he's never even left America, you know, and he's gonna come to Tokyo, and he is in for a big fucking wake up call, you know. Like it's gonna be, but I mean, he'll come here, he can get a SIM card for his phone, and he'll be able to do the whole Google Translate thing and go explore and go walk around or whatever, right? And that'll be cool. That'll be good for him. But yeah, guys, it's like it's always having an area where you can go and just browse a bunch of stuff, because if you're not going to those hub areas, then you're going to all these different areas where they'll still have really cool stuff around there, but it's always around the train station, you know. They always have a little Shoten guy, a little area around the train station, but after that, it's usually just houses, the occasional gas station, you know. It's nothing to wave a dick at. So, yeah, you want to go where the place is good, so go to the big places that got a lot of stuff around them. Yeah, so that's one right there. Like, yeah, so we talked about, like, well, Shibuya, Shinjuku, Ikebukuro, Ueno. Yeah, that's about. I mean, like, the cool thing is like, it just depends on what you want to do, right? Like, if you're trying to go kill time, like if you got time to kill and you're waiting for your friend, always restaurants are the way to do it. If you're looking for a chain restaurant, I found this one last year because one of my viewers who signed up for a tour smokes, and this was one of the few cafes that still allows smoking in there. It's called Hoshi or Hoshino Coffee, I think the name of it is, and they're everywhere, so that's nice. Also, Dotour, shit, dude, I used to have a Dotour by I used to go to one to teach when I lived in Aguisadani like 10 plus years ago, and I just remember it being really shitty. Like, the seats were all old, and it was like somebody took McDonald's furniture and then put it into a coffee shop, and like all the coffee sucked or whatever, blah blah blah, etc. And today I went to a Doto for the first time in like forever. It's basically like Japanese Starbucks is what you can chop it up to, except chicks don't like it, it's just dudes. But yeah, I went to one for the first time in ages, and I was like, wow, the quality, it doesn't feel like a McDonald's play place anymore. It actually feels like it's very nice. The furniture's like updated, modern, but like, you know, kind of classy-ish. The food's higher quality. I was surprised. I was like, wow, I'm so used to this being such like a shitty fucking place, you know? But yeah, it's like for me, whenever I need to go kill time, like basically it's like, well, why do you need to kill time? Well, like you were gonna meet up with somebody and they're late, and so if you want to get out and just breathe, you can go to any park or whatever, sit down. I don't know about recently, but I remember when I would go and meet friends in Aguisadani when I lived there, the hooker town by Ueno, there was a park near the station, and I would always go there and just I wouldn't play with them, but I would just look at the stray cats. I heard that like the pound took like a lot of, like, the government got rid of them recently, but before there used to be a really nice park. Well, it wasn't nice, but there was a park where all the stray cats would hang out in that area, and I'd just go and hang out there and just, like, you know, give them treats sometimes, because they were cool, and it's always good to have friends on the outside. But I haven't been there in forever, so that's one thing. But if you want something like, you know, inside, never go to Starbucks, guys. Try to go to places where it's only Japanese, you know, where you've got only Japanese stuff going on. And so, like, even if it's I wouldn't suggest like fast food places just because I don't know. I don't really like the atmosphere there. If you're gonna spend $5 on a coffee, you might as well have it be a semi-decent, like classy-ish kind of place, you know. But yeah, that's or just like for me, I like to go to Book Off. I'm always trying to add books to my library here. So going to like a Book Off and buying a book, like you can just stand, because all those places they just let you stand and read. It doesn't matter, right? Or what else do we got here? Book Off, local coffee shops, parks, you know, like it's, or a retro arcade if they got them nearby, which they probably won't, but it's always fun to go check it out. As for places to meet people, it's like, well, where, okay, like, well, let's talk about, like, there's Uchiawase, and then there's, like, you know, like, kind of nomikai, like, meeting people. So there's, like, meeting your friends, like, meeting up with them somewhere, versus, like, where do I go to meet people and have fun? So the best places, I think, to meet your friends are just always try to pick an exit. It doesn't matter what exit, but you should try to make it, like, this is the best thing about Tokyo, is that even with the subways, there's usually only like 1 or like 3 exits or something, if you're lucky. Some of them there's like 20 plus, like especially for like Shinjuku or whatever. But if it's a small subway, just pick an exit. They're all usually in the same area, and then just pick a coffee shop nearby, or say the police box, which is usually nearby. And everyone's got Google Maps on their phone, so they can look that up now. But if you are, because like I remember being in Osaka, and Osaka just sucks because everything's connected to everything through underground passages, and it's fucking lame because there's some train stations and they're right next to each other, but they don't have the same name, and so you don't even know if you're near the right one. Like at least in Tokyo, for example, like if you go to Nakano Station, there's Higashi Nakano and Shin Nakano. Like there's train stations that are like the same name or similar names. But in other parts of the city, it's just like in other parts of the country, right? Completely different names sometimes. But yeah, always try to meet people at landmarks that are easy to spot and find. Like for me, if people are coming and meeting me in Shinjuku, I always just say, meet me outside cash me outside. Meet me outside the Godzilla building. Because everyone knows the Godzilla building. I never say, meet me outside the train station. Because people are like, okay, what exit? What exit? And so if I just say the Godzilla building, then they know it doesn't matter what train exit they get at that they go out of, as long as they find the Godzilla place. So that's always the one to go out of. Like people are always like, what train exit? What air? And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Just this is a place. Go find it. You know, you're a big boy. You can figure it out. So that's the thing. That's for like. So that's my suggestions when it comes to meeting up with people, linking up with them. Right. Coffee, why? So we got the coffee here. As for where to go to meet people, well, Japan's one of those places where luckily there's bars everywhere, right? Just go to a bar, spark up a conversation. But it depends. What kind of people do you want to meet? Do you want to meet old people that are like all married and boring? Or do you want to meet young people? Do you want to meet chicks? You know, there's plenty of places to go and meet people. Just depends on who you're trying to meet. And also, if you're one of those people that's not spontaneous and you don't know what bars to go to because you're like too worried about the oversaturation, there's too many options, Facebook, meetup.com. If you don't know Japanese, those are plenty of places, especially in Tokyo. There's always events going on there. There's Facebook groups, meetup.com. There was an app for a while that I didn't use, but some of the people at the guest house when I lived there were, what was it called? It's called like Ishani no Manai or something, where it was like you could go and be like, I want to hang out with some people to drink, and then it would just link you up with random people who also wanted to drink. And it was cool because you could set the parameters, being like, I want to date, or like I want to go out with like somebody who's like 20 years old or 30, you know, or like I want to only drink with women or dudes or whatever. You could set your preferences, and since everybody's always coming home to their home stations, it was a cool option to be like, hey, Does anyone want to go grab a drink? Unfortunately, I don't remember what that app name is, but if I remember, or if any of you guys know what the app name is, please write it down in the comment section down below. And yeah, you know, do a thing. But yeah, I mean, like, there's literally tons of places to go and meet people. I prefer Golden Guy, which is kind of where this guy in the video is walking around. This is kind of the Golden Guy area in the game. Golden Guy is basically just a bunch of little bars that are the size of a Kim Kardashian's shoe closet, pretty much, right? They're not very big. They can only fit about 10 people or so. And I like it. It's more of like an intimate setting. You know, if you go to a club, it's just loud, shitty mumble rap music, and I'm not about that, you know? I'm not about that life. Yeah, if you're a clubber, there's clubs, you know, at all the big places, Shibuya, Shinjuku, whatever, right? But, yeah, I like Golden Guy because you can meet locals, and there's so many bars. If you want to get away from other foreigners, you've got plenty of options there. But when it comes to meeting with people, if you want to meet chicks, just go to fucking young people drinking bars. Like, they got, I don't know, people are always like shitting on Hub, right? It's been a long time since I went to Hub to go meet like random people, so I don't know if that's still an option, but if you're in a busy area and they've got a Hub, you might want to go check that out, because there's always people that are trying to be cheapskates and just use English, and there's foreigners that, I don't know, they go check it out. But as for, like, you know, young people meet up drinking spots, I mean, you go to Shibuya, you want to meet the people, you go to where the people are, right? Shibuya is where a lot of the young people go and drink. I haven't been to Shibuya in a long time, because Shibuya is just where it seems like a bunch of the trust fund kids hang out outside now. Like, I haven't, like, you know, what is it? Like, I went to Shibuya, I don't even remember. Whenever I go to Shibuya, I usually take spaghetti and I park in that Miyashita Koen, the place where it used to be just motorcycle parking. I park there now, and it's usually to meet somebody, though, so I don't really wander around that area too much. But yeah, I know Swim and Nicky Boy, he loves that area. He loves Shibuya, and but yeah, I'm not really about going and hanging out with foreigners, especially young foreigners who don't speak Japanese, who just want to get drunk and hang out with other foreigners, right? But again, you know, if you learn Japanese, you'll be able to make Japanese friends, and they'll be able to turn you on to the places where you can go and meet young people. But yeah, just good rule of thumb, Shibuya is the place where all the young people like to go meet up. As for, I don't know, it's like, where do you want to go to meet people? If it's like, okay, I don't want to go online, I don't want to go, it's like, I don't want to go to a place where foreigners are. A good rule of thumb, go to wherever the colleges are. I had a girlfriend who lived in Jujo, which is this place that's just, it's in northwest Tokyo, and there's like several universities around that area, and but it's small. It's a small area, but there's a ton of students there because of everyone lives in the student housing. So if you wanted to go to a place where it's like a completely young area, that place, Koenji, Kichijoji, just if there's a college town, go there. You can find hot young college chicks to talk to, and I know that's totally, you want to do that, right? Obviously, right? But yeah, I don't know. What about like avoiding foreigners? What if you want to avoid foreigners? You want to have that Tom Cruise. I always nickname it the Tom Cruise experience, where it's like, you know, this is why I always tell everyone to be an ALT instead of being an Eikaiwa teacher. Because if you're an Eikaiwa teacher, you're not going to learn Japanese. You're going to be around other foreigners who, you know, you don't want to work in you came to Japan to be around Japanese people, right? If you're working in an Eikaiwa, you're just surrounded by all these other loser dudes who never learned Japanese, probably married one of their adult students, and they've been here for like 20 years, and this is like all they do, and they maybe have a side hobby of photography or whatever, but they don't have any like viable skills to put into like another industry, right? And so you don't want to get loserism by osmosis by hanging around those people, right? So at least when you're an ALT, you're 100% surrounded by Japanese people, and you got a lot of downtime, hopefully. where you can study Japanese and kind of think of like what profession you want to jump into after you get done with your ALT stuff, right? So, same thing in Japan. If you're going out and stuff, you don't want to be around foreigners, especially now with the tourism economy. Japan's tasted those sweet, sweet tourism dollars, and now they want to keep it going. So, how do you want to get away from those people? So, usually one of the best bets is going by the local trains, you can avoid the hub areas, and you get, because like for me, I'm like, okay, if you want to do a bunch of stuff, then you got to go to the hub areas, because I'm lazy, I don't want to bounce around on the train 5 different times during the day. I don't know about you guys, I don't got that much energy, right? You just consolidate it to one area. But if you want to have like that quote unquote local feeling where you're not surrounded by other foreigners that are there doing the same thing you're doing, I love it too. I got one viewer of mine who comes here, he signs up for the tours. Yeah, you know who you are, motherfucker. He's probably listening to this, and he always complains about how he's like, these goddamn foreign tourists, and I'm like, motherfucker, you're a tourist too. And he's like, yeah, but I've been here like 10 plus times, and I'm like, you still don't know Japanese, you still don't live here. There's a very big difference between being able to speak the language and having lived here, like, and no matter how many times you're a tourist here, dude, you're not, like, it's not the same, until you go through immigration, you wait there with all the fucking, all the smelly other fucking dark-skinned foreigners there with their fucking babies crying and shit, and their Japanese wives having to interpret for them because they never learned Japanese, and until you have to go and pay your health insurance and shit, like, and you have to, I don't know. Like, we are not the same, That being said, I encourage people to move over here, Like, I encourage you guys to make the leap. I just hung out with a guy today, one of my viewers, Mr. Thomas 89. Thank you for the tribute. Thanks for bringing me stuff from America. And, yeah, too bad we both got too fucked up that we couldn't hang out with each other. He was out drinking and partying with the women's, and I was sick, so, but yeah, I mean, like, even him, he's like, I'm moving to Japan. Like, he's got a plan, and he's following it through now, so, yeah, it's always good to come here with a plan and having a backup, of what you want to get done, and just following it. It's way easier to feel better about yourself when you know what you want to do, and even if you don't know 100%, you write down a list and you do it. It's just, it feels good to check off things on that list, right? So, but here, let me give some examples of where not to meet other foreigners. Because, like, yeah, it's, I went outside to that fucking Dotor, the cafe, I'd never been to that one. And I was like, shit, and they were already tourists, because I guess there's tourist hotels in this area. And so, you want to, now thanks to Airbnb, there's tourists everywhere, right? But where are you going to go to not see the tourists? Well, for one, places that don't advertise in English, you go there. One of my private students, he took me to this place called, what was the name of it? It's a fried chicken place, and it's an izakaya, and we went there, and it was all Japanese, and I guess non-English speaking foreigners. So, like Chinese, Vietnamese, and I like those places too because no one's trying to speak English to you, and you're not hearing people be like, "Oh my God, why don't they just learn English?" Like, you don't need to listen or put up with any of that shit. It's nice. Yeah, so it's like going to places like that. Hell, like even going to live houses that I go to, every month. There's always at least 1 or 2 foreigners there. You can't escape them. You can't reason. You can't reason with them. You can't bargain with them. They will find you and they will be gaijin in front of you. Oh God. Lordy. But yeah, guys. I mean, there's always going to be random places you can go to, though. But those are the local places. Again, non-English places. So. For example, like here, I don't mind. I'm not gatekeeping. I'll share the information with the 2 people that watch these fucking podcasts. So, for example, in Golden Guy, there's a bar called Ura Q. You can Google it later to find it. But there's never been... the only time there's foreigners in there is when I bring them to that bar. And that's in Golden Guy. In Golden Guy, they have a lot of bars that are trying to get foreigners. But that place, they never got any foreigners there. And it's cool. They play, like, jungle techno and, like, acid techno and, like, reggae and shit. And the guy there is great, man. Like, I remember I brought some very nice lady with me to that place, and he was wingmaning like crazy. He was giving me free drinks and shit, trying to, you know, smooth the move over. It was quite nice. That guy, I owe that guy. That guy helped, you know, help lighten the mood. Yeah, it's but yeah, I mean, like there's bars like that. Like anytime, guys, like that you see a bar that's like where they're trying to get you in there, do not go. Do not go. Never follow the touts, you know. But again, it's like finding places. Like sometimes, like eventually, when you're walking around, you'll start to pick up, like you'll have a sixth sense about these things where you're like, oh, there's no English advertising. It's kind of hard to get here. And then there's no foreigners. Like, you know, it's nice. It's nice, but you got to be careful for the places where they're trying to get people. Like this place that the guy's walking down right now with the alleyway and shit. Yeah, that park. They still have that park here. It looks different though. You just gotta be careful. You gotta avoid, especially the black chappies. Don't listen to the black chappies, guys. The African guys that are like, come to my bar. Unless you want to buy drugs or you want to, you know, get drugged and get your credit card stolen, never go to black guys. Or the Chinese hookers either. The Chinese hookers will steal your wallet. They'll steal the SIM out of your phone, copy it, and then it's bad news bears, guys. But, yeah, you want to avoid Filipino bars and just bars where it's like in shady areas, don't go to shady places. That's a good rule of thumb. But going to places where it's not touristy can be interesting. Like if you go to, like, for example, like Kanda or Shimbashi or Tokyo, like Marunouchi, the places around the areas where people go to work, those are the places where you're probably not going to see tourists. Like, you know, like you go to any train station like Shibuya or Ueno, walk 20 minutes away, and you'll probably find some mom and pop shop where it's only locals. And I know that's what you guys want. You want that local experience. You want to be able to be the special guy in the special place who gets the special only foreigner treatment, right? So, yeah, and that, again, like, when I'm saying, like, places where you're going where you're not meeting other foreign tourists, that could be restaurants, that could be, like, especially the underground areas. Like, in Shinjuku, there's a bunch of, like, I hate underground areas because, like, for me, this is an earthquake country, and I don't want to be caught underground ever, you know? Not unless I have to be. And, but in Shinjuku, for instance, I wanted some, my hot gay son, Ryan, from Northern Ireland, he hooked me on Sapporo Classic beer. And if you guys have tried Sapporo beer, think of that times like 5. It's really, really nice. It's really smooth. It's a special beer that's only sold in Hokkaido and Hokkaido-related shops. And they have a Hokkaido shop in the underground in Shinjuku, and not a lot of foreigners go down there. So if you're looking for cool places to go window browse or whatever, underground markets in Tokyo, those are definitely places. Like, basically, the tourists, they only go for, like, easy access places, right? So if you go out of your way for places that are kind of off the offbeat track, because, I mean, no matter where you go, you're going to see tourists, but just getting far away from the areas where they congregate will help. And I wish I had written down more. Again, this will be like a mini series on the channel, so this is part 1. I will do part 2 and part 3 or whatever and give more specific examples. But yeah, you know, it's just a good rule of thumb. Go to the underground places, guys. Go to underground places. Go to places that don't have English, that are hard to get to, and yeah, you'll get away from those goddamn foreigners. Honestly, for me, I don't care about getting away from all foreigners. I just want to get away from English speakers because I don't want to have to, like, when it's other foreigners, I don't understand what they're saying. So it's like, it's fine as long as it's not too crowded. But if it's other English speakers, I'm like, I have to hear what they're saying. Like, I can't turn that off, you know? I can't ignore what they're saying kind of thing, right? And also, it seems like there's a lot more entitlement. Like, for example, in Shinjuku, I'm walking from the station, and you walk past these like hotels, right? And you see these Asian foreigners, and they just don't seem so entitled, so narcissistic off their heads. I mean, like, you know, of course you'll get the occasional grandma doing the selfie shit or whatever, right? But, you know, for the most part, it's like, not like, take my picture, and like, why don't they know English and Obama, blah blah blah, whatever, right? But yeah, I mean, the good rule of thumb is like, if you see a cool place and it doesn't look sketchy, and like there's an absinthe bar that I love to take my viewers when they come and sign up for the tours for my Patreon, and that place never has foreigners in there, and it's a tiny fucking bar that is so hard to get into because it's like, if there's an earthquake, you're dead. You're fucking dead in that bar. But the dude who works there, there's multiple guys that work there, and they're all musicians. And the people that come to that bar, they come to that bar to talk to those musicians. And it's really cool. And it's an absinthe bar, and they do the stupid shit where they melt the sugar or whatever, and like they use the machine, which you don't even need if you just, I don't know. It's like it's fun, you know. And it can only fit like 5 or 6 people, but like finding those weird local places where you can get away, it's like a speakeasy, right? You get away from the normal stuff and you're good to go, right? But I don't know, for me, when I'm going out and I'm exploring Tokyo, I love to get a good view, you know? Like, that's one of the best things. You go to any area, you find out what building is the biggest, and they'll usually have a restaurant or a bar or something at the top. You go there, even if it's a hotel, you go in there, you ride to the top, and if you go during lunch, usually the lunch specials are a lot cheaper than if you went during a night. It just depends on how fancy the place is, but yeah, you go in there and you can just get a big view of the whole fucking area, and you're like, hey, there's my hotel. Oh, hey, there's the arcade I went to. You know, it's fun. And it's interesting, and it is ma'am. Oh, Cracky Reeds. He's got what everyone needs. Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's just like Tokyo is big enough for everybody. I got a message from one of my viewers. What's his name? I'm gonna shout him out because he was very nice. What's his name on Instagram? One of my viewers from the great old UK. Oh yeah, I love, by the way, because I'm releasing, here's a timestamp for you guys. Fucking UK, right? UK right now, Elon Musk has just been bullying the prime minister and all these people that allowed all those wonderful gangs of totally Asian. I love how they don't want to sound racist towards brown people, so they always say Asian or like something else, right? It's like, no, they were brown people and they were raping white kids, you know? And Elon Musk is pointing that out, and they're like, hey, the people from the government are like, hey, you can't say that. And he's like, yeah, I can. This is my platform, bitch ass. And anyway, this guy's name is Abraxas Higgins, and he's just an awesome lad. Let's see if I can play this on the microphone. I don't know if this will pick it up, but I'll play it for like 10 seconds or whatever, right? Let's see.
Sam, I have no idea if you're going to be able to hear this, but I just want to say Happy New Year. It's really funny watching all these like new kids go to Japan because the flights are so cheap, and I don't know, man. I don't know. It's attracting a certain type of demographic that I'm not so keen on. Like, I don't know, fashionistas, and not like real fashionistas, just like fucking like Gen Z fucking weirdo fucking kids.
Yeah.
People that are doing shit for clout.
Yeah.
Way and just absolutely being fucking ridiculous, right? I also want to say that you were the OG, man. You were the OG. You were the one that fucking honestly put Japan on the map for so many fucking people. It's so weird in saying this, but like none of that exists without you. Like, and I hope you fucking know that. I hope you know that you are the fucking OG and you're the fucking man, bro. So whatever you get up to this year, more success to you, man. And yeah, man, stay happy, be happy, and keep killing them, dude.
That was Abraxas Higgins. That man is a god among men. I don't know if you guys were able to hear that. But yeah, man, thanks for the message, dude. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, like, the whole thing is like, I don't ever want to, what is it? It was like that train spotting quote or whatever. Like, you're a tourist in your own nostalgia. What is it? It's like memories are good to visit, but they're not good to stay in, right? So it's like you got to always kind of remember you got to put your first, front foot forward, first foot forward kind of thing, right? Garth, right? Live in the now. Just because Japan is not the same Japan that I originally moved to, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily a bad thing. But it is interesting to see what Japan will turn into specifically over the next decade. I'm not even talking about the next couple decades. I'm talking about directly this decade coming up. Because, yeah, it's either Japan's going to get its shit together and the yen's going to go back up and they're not going to rely so heavily on tourist dollars, or it's going to be the exact opposite and Japan's going to slowly double down on the tourism bucks and try to just make it as kind of Thailand-y as possible. And that fucking sucks, because that means that Japanese people would be lower than the foreigners that come to visit them, and I don't want that ever for this country, And but that means that they'll all be catering to all these fucking entitled tourists, and no one wants to go to Thailand. Thailand is shitty fucking weather, polluted as fuck. It's hot and it's polluted, And the language sounds like dogs speaking. It's not, Japanese is beautiful. They got style, they got class, they got great fucking weather. And all these fucking rich opportunist investor people, they understand that now. That's why they're trying to buy up land in Japan. That's why they're trying to start up businesses here, because they know that Japanese people, the same. Like, they're tired of Japan being the Japanese way, and they want to start chasing those tourist bucks or that foreign investing dollars too. And they want to, change Japan. And I saw this. Why can't I remember his name? I was watching this. I found this live streamer on Kick yesterday. They were promoting him on the front page. And he was this Brazilian guy who's lived in Japan for like 9 or 10 years. And he was talking to this Japanese guy who he had lived in Georgia. No, the European Georgia. Like Stavros, Georgia. Oh, is that Greek or is it Greece or is that Georgia? They're two different countries. Anyway, the Japanese guy was saying how it's like he came from like a good house. Like, his family's like upper middle class. They paid for his college. He finished school or whatever. And but after school, he's like, I don't want to stay in Japan. I want to leave. And he went and he left Japan, and he came back and he's like, I feel like a tourist in my own country. I'm getting like really bad reverse culture shock. And, this guy, he was saying how it's tough for him, because like he wants Japan to change so much. And the Brazilian guy's trying to tell him, he's like, you don't understand, man. Like, where I live in Brazil, like, a good country is a safe country, and I'm not safe at all in Brazil. And so if you allow just unchecked, because like the Japanese guy was basically saying, we just need to let in a bunch of foreigners in Japan. We need to change it. And the Brazilian guy's like, dude, look, there's a lot of fucking dumbass foreigners. I don't know about Brazil, but he's like, there's a bunch of dumbasses in Brazil. I wouldn't want all these Brazilian people being able to be allowed just to come to Japan unchecked. And he's like, you take your safety, you take the cleanliness, you take this society for granted. And like, you need to be exposed to the shittier parts of the world. And that'll make you appreciate Japan a whole lot more, And I really, it's funny because it's like it's always people that come from privileged backgrounds trying to tell the world that they need to expand and they need to be better, versus the people that actually are from countries where it was shitty. Like, I remember, like, one of my favorite clips on Twitter is, like, this guy coming from, like, Eastern Europe or something, and, like, even, like, another lady from China or something, and they're saying how it's, like, we came from communist countries, and they suck. And so all these people coming over here and saying they need to be more communist or something, or, like, more Islam or whatever, and they're like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude. You do not need that, man. And, like, that's the thing that's fucked up about the UK and everything. I don't want to get too political here, but it's just like, you know, when you're giving power to these people that, like, oh yeah, we ran away from this country that was shitty because it had, like, somewhat good ideals behind it, but the execution was horrible. But they want to do it to your country now because your country has its shit together, and they want you to, like, you know, they're tired of you having your shit together. Luckily, I think Japan is based enough that its people won't allow that to happen. But at the end of the day, politicians are greedy. They want money. And, you know, like, it was even shown recently, I think this week, that there was a scandal with the foreign minister of affairs or something here because he had taken bribes from Chinese officials to make China... Because it used to be back in the day that only Chinese people could come to Japan if they were on tour groups. Because if they weren't on tour groups, they would come here individually, and then they would overstay their visa and just work here illegally. And so if they left the tour group, then the tour group would be responsible, and the company would be responsible, and then they wouldn't be able to do business in Japan anymore, so they'd lose a lot of money. So there was, like, a good mutual understanding there. But now, since the economy's shit, they just let Chinese people, Indian people, all these people from third world countries. And I know China is not third world, but yeah, there's big chunks of those countries that are still pretty third world, you know. And in third world, you're not really getting the manners of a regular society, high trust society that you'd see, right? And so, you know, it's just like, don't fuck with my new house kind of thing, right? Like, Japan's not officially my house, you know. I'm still an American, but it's like, you know, I'd like to think that I go out of my way to not cause trouble here. You know, I go out of my way. I mean, like, when you learn the language, you have the choice to either ignore, like, what is it? Like, I don't follow every rule, obviously, right? It's like, don't, like Arnold said, don't, you know, break the rules, don't break the law kind of thing, right? It's like, if you made up a rule and I think it's stupid, I'm not going to follow it, right? It's like you can't bring food into a movie theater or something. It's like, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want, you know? Like, but it's just, like, when you go out of your, if you're not following the rules and then that ruins, like, it ruins the experience for somebody else or you're attacking somebody else, that's when I have a problem with it, you know? And I really don't like when these foreigners come over here and they complain about Japan basically being Japan, you know? Why don't they speak English? Oh my god, my Airbnb is so cold, man. And I'm like, yeah, dude, the whole world is not like where you're from, man, like, including Japan. So you just gotta deal with it, you know, embrace it. And unfortunately, since the yen and everything and the weak yen and stuff, you're gonna have more of these entitled douchebags coming over here. But it doesn't mean that your trip to Japan has to be shitty. And yeah, I think, don't worry guys, we're getting to the end of this rant, but I will be sure in the next the part 2 of this, I'll give more specific examples of where I really like to go that I would love to share with you guys to give them more money. And I mean, I did mention a couple places, right? But yeah, definitely go check out Harry's Sandwich Shop. Go check out What's Up Bar in Guisadani. Go check out Deathmatch in Hell in Golden Guy. What else? Are there any other? Go check out Pizza Slice in Shibuya. If you want sushi, go check out Choshimaru. They got one by Tokyo Dome. And yeah, don't forget to sign up for a tour with Dad. Sign up for Dad's tours on Patreon, and I'll go take you to these specific places, and we'll go around. And hell, if you listen to me, you might even get laid. I mean, you know, with an actual, like, woman liking you for who you are, etc. Maybe. I don't know. Let's play it out. It might happen. But yeah, anyway, if you guys are watching this and you're in the premiere chat, hello everyone in the premiere chat. Secret comment of the day is, yeah, just write down, that guy in the white suit kicks ass. Just write down that or something with the guy in the white suit so they know what's up. And yeah, like always, we're probably going to do a live stream after this, so I'll probably put the URL for that in the comment section and in the premiere. And guys, like always, man, like the engagement really helps on this channel, so if you can smash the like button and leave a comment, I would really appreciate it, because the algorithm gods will look nicely upon me and shit. And yeah, guys, just remember, there's enough Japan to go around for everybody. And if you want some extra help, join the Discord. We got a great community of people, and some of them even live in Japan. So yeah, anyway, that's it for Dad's best places in Japan, best places in Tokyo rant. See ya. Oh God, why coffee?